Now, no matter what you think of Donald Trump, he's keeping his promises and he's keeping a cracking pace. We'll catch up with Kristin Tate in just a moment. But first up, the White House's press secretary, Karoline Leavitt, is taking to social media each week with the MAGA Minute. Here's this week's.
This week, President Trump became the first sitting president to ever attend a Super Bowl, declared February 9th Gulf of America Day, signed an executive order rolling back Biden's push to phase out plastic straws, secured the release of Pennsylvania teacher and great American Mark Fogel from Russian captivity, bringing the total number of hostages released to 11 since he took office just 4 weeks ago. He implemented a 25% global tariff on steel and aluminum imports to protect our steel and aluminum industries from unfair foreign competition. He introduced the Fair and Reciprocal Tariff Plan to counter unfair trade practices by our foreign trading partners. He established the Make America Healthy Again Commission to fight chronic disease, ended COVID vaccine mandates in schools, and established the National Energy Dominance Council. We are going to drill, baby, drill. See you for next week's MAGA Minute.
There you go. So I asked our US analyst Kristin Tate whether she was still keeping up with the president's pace.
Hardly. It's been another week of winning. And this is why a recent Rasmussen poll has shown that Americans right now have the best outlook for the nation that they have ever had. That's a remarkable turnaround, Chris. And this is being kept secret by the media, which is trying to kind of slow the support for Donald Trump and slow his progress. But people here are really loving it. And I will say, even some Democrats that I know are finally starting to say, hey, you know, some of this stuff is pretty great, and I'm feeling a little optimistic now.
Some of this stuff is major and some of it is very small beer. You know, I think the Gulf of Mexico thing is just ridiculous, the Gulf of America, but we'll see if that sticks. But I got to tell you, even here in Australia, people were celebrating bringing back the plastic straw. So that one certainly struck a nerve. But I think one of the big issues, and in some ways surprising that it's been so effective already, is what Donald Trump has done on the borders. Now, he did it last time, I know, but the situation was right out of control, and already there is clear evidence that the influx of illegal migrants has been halted. Have a look at this report.
San Diego has closed an office that was opened up to receive illegals. What's that tell us?
It tells us the border is more secure than it's ever been. Detained for removal. That is what the Trump administration is doing. That's what the promise that President Trump made to the American people. We're concentrating on the export program.
They're in the export business now, Kristin.
That's right. Yeah. Crossings at the southern border have virtually slowed to a halt since Trump has taken office. And that's because the projection of strength has just deterred migrants. They don't think it's worth making that trip anymore. Friends down in Texas, where I used to live, are constantly texting me pictures of the neighborhoods that are considered, you know, hot spots for migration. The Home Depots, the grocery stores, they are all completely empty. The illegal migration is just not happening right now. I will say DHS released some numbers between the inauguration and February 3rd. About 5,600 people had been deported. If those kind of numbers, you know, continue to be consistent, that means that actually fewer than 12,000 people have been deported as of today. And keep in mind, you know, under Joe Biden, we were seeing 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 migrants being apprehended per day. So the deportations are actually not that high, but at least we have stopped the flow of migrants into the country. But I think a lot of Americans would love to see that deportation number much higher.
Yeah, also people smugglers, they're an inventive lot, and already they're trying to work around through the northern border, through Canada. Have a look.
Illegal Canadian coyotes are using TikTok to promote crossings into the United States, revealing secret routes and offering services to migrants. New York Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis is urging a federal probe, saying the Department of Justice should investigate how these apps are being utilized for nefarious activity and get cooperation from the companies that operate them.
And Kristin, this underscores why Donald Trump's been wise too to put pressure on Canada to stop drugs and people coming through that border.
Precisely. The U.S.-Canada border is actually the largest and longest land border in the world, and it's largely unguarded. I can tell you this firsthand. My family actually owns some properties up in a town called Colebrook, New Hampshire. It is way up there right next to the Canada border, and there is nothing up there, Chris. It is totally undefended. There's nobody on either side, and these coyotes, these smugglers, what they are doing is advertising on social media platforms like TikTok as if, human smuggling is just a legitimate business. They are telling people, hey, pay us $5,000 and we'll take you across on a safe journey. They even have some testimonials up on these social media accounts. And I was looking at the statistics. The large majority of these migrants coming across from the northern border are Indian nationals. I can tell you right now, up in the Northeast, I'm in Massachusetts right now. My family lives in New Hampshire. It is freezing up here. So I think as the weather gets warmer, these numbers of illegal migrants coming from the northern border will continue to tick up. This needs to be something that is addressed by the Trump administration because it could become a big problem.
Yeah, and they've got to work very closely with the Canadians on that, who, of course, are looking at a new Prime Minister soon. Just going to wrap up because you're coming to the end of a public holiday there. It's President's Day, and Donald Trump has tweeted from the White House. He's wished everybody a happy President's Day. He says, they're not after me, they're after you. I'm just standing in the way, which was a great line during his campaign. And he's got his mugshot there, of course, his portrait, which is styled on it, and also his mugshot. He's very proud of that mugshot, Kristin. There's also a print of it apparently hanging in the White House just outside the Oval Office.
I just love that so much. That mugshot symbolized exactly what propelled Donald Trump to victory. The media left-wing Democrat machine that was looking to, completely stomp out and suppress and ban conservatives from polite society. It's like Trump says, he was simply standing in the way. That is what that image symbolizes. The left thought they were going to bury Trump with that mugshot, but in fact, that is a rallying image for Trump's base and now for the nation. So I just love that he hung that up on the wall.
It is a ripper mugshot. If ever I have to have a mugshot, I've never had one. I'd want one as good as that. Thanks for joining us, Kristin. Great to chat as ever.
Thank you, Chris.